I will travel to USA. Maybe you've said this sentence in your head many times, but when the moment finally comes, your heart beats faster, and your English freezes. You start thinking, what if I don't understand the officer at the airport? Or, how do I ask for a taxi? The truth is, many people study English for years but still feel lost when it's time to use it in real life. That's why this video is different. Hello, welcome to English Cactus. My name is Anna. Before we continue, make sure to grab your free PDF of the lesson in the video description. And thank you so much for watching my videos, sending me messages, and writing comments. Your support means the world to me. It truly helps keep this channel alive and growing. This video will help you practice your English in a fun and natural way, improving your listening skills without stress or boring grammar lessons. We use real-life stories so you can learn like a traveler, not like a robot. I suggest you try the shadowing technique. Just listen first. Understand the story. Then go back, pause after each sentence, and say it out loud. Try to match my rhythm and voice. It's like training your mouth for real conversations. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave in the comments where you are from. Now grab your coffee, relax, and let's begin this journey together. You're one story away from feeling more confident every time you hear the word travel. I was so excited. It was my first time traveling alone, and I was going to New York for vacation. I couldn't believe it. I checked my passport 100 times and made sure I had my travel documents ready. When I got to the airport, everything felt big and a little scary, but I followed the signs and did my best. I kept telling myself, "You can do this." I found my gate, sat down, and smiled. My heart was beating fast, but in a good way. When the airplane took off, I looked out the window and almost cried. I was really doing it. I listened to music, watched a movie, and tried to relax during the flight. It was a long trip, but I felt strong. When I arrived in the USA, I was nervous about immigration. I had never spoken English in a serious situation before. My hands were cold, and I was scared I wouldn't understand the officer. He asked me, "What is the purpose of your travel?" I froze for 1 second. Then I smiled and said, "Vacation. That's all." Just one word, and it worked. He looked at me and said, "Enjoy your stay." I couldn't believe it. I did. I felt like I had passed a big test. After that, I picked up my bag, followed the signs in the airport, and walked out like a real traveler. My adventure had finally started. Let me tell you something. Travel is not just about places. It's about becoming braver. I didn't need perfect English. I needed to try. That's all. Just try. At the airport, people were kind. If I didn't understand something, I asked again. And guess what? That's okay. If you ever travel, practice small phrases like, "Where is the gate?" or "I am here for vacation." These phrases helped me feel safe. And believe me, every word you learn becomes your friend when you're far from home. But my story didn't stop there. Something strange happened when I got to the hotel. After I left the airport, I took a cab to the hotel. The driver spoke fast, but I just smiled and nodded. I showed him the address on my phone and he said, "Okay, let's go." The streets of New York were full of lights, people, and cars. Everything felt so big. When I arrived at the hotel, I checked in and took the elevator to my floor. I was so tired from the travel that I just wanted to go to my room, take a shower, and rest. But when I opened the door to the hallway bathroom, something unexpected happened. A man was coming out at the same time. We almost bumped into each other. I said, "Sorry." And he said, "It's okay," with a big smile. I didn't think much of it. Just one of those things, right? But later that night, I saw him again in the elevator. He smiled again and said, "Hello, Miss Vacation." I laughed. "How did you know?" I asked. Your smile says it all, he replied. It was a little awkward, but kind of funny, too. And guess what? The next morning, I saw him again, right in front of my room door. At this point, I started to think, okay, is this a hotel or a small town? We kept bumping into each other in the most random places. Once by the vending machine, and even once when I was carrying my laundry. Each time we shared a little laugh. It was like life was playing a joke on me. I came to New York to enjoy my travel, not to star in a romantic comedy, but sometimes these funny things are what make a travel story special. I didn't know his name, and I didn't ask. I just enjoyed the little surprises. When you're in a new place, everything feels new, even small talks in the elevator. I used simple English. Good morning. How are you? Nice day, right? These phrases made the moments feel friendly. But that was just the beginning. Because on the first real day in the city, I finally went to see the most famous lady in America. On my first real day in New York, I woke up early. I was so excited because I was going to see the Statue of Liberty. I had seen it in movies, books, and even in my English class back home. But now, I was going to see it with my own eyes. I asked the hotel receptionist how to get there. He said, take the subway to Battery Park, then take the ferry. I wrote it all down so I wouldn't forget. At the subway, I asked, is this train going to Battery Park? The man smiled and said, yes, you're on the right train. I felt proud. Even simple English made my travel better. When I arrived at the park, I saw the ferry and joined the line. The boat ride was amazing. The wind was strong and the view was beautiful. I looked around and saw people taking pictures, laughing, and speaking different languages. We were all travel lovers, I think. When the Statue of Liberty appeared in front of me, I felt a mix of emotions: joy, freedom, and wonder. She was so tall. I took pictures, of course, but I also stopped to just look. I whispered to myself, wow, you did it. You're really here. That statue is more than metal. It's a symbol. And seeing it made me feel brave, like I could do anything, even speak English in New York. After that, I walked around, got a hot dog from a street cart, and sat in a small park nearby. I saw kids playing, birds flying, and people smiling. That's when I decided to go to Central Park. I had heard about it many times, and I wanted to see what it was like. I took a taxi and said, Central Park, please. The driver nodded, and off we went. When I got there, I was shocked by how big it was. There were trees, lakes, and even people dancing. It didn't feel like a city at all. It felt like another world. My travel was just beginning, and already full of beautiful moments. And the next day, it was time to go even higher. On my second day in New York, I wanted to see the city from above, so I decided to visit the Empire State Building. I had seen it in so many movies, King Kong, Sleepless in Seattle, and now it was my turn. I took a taxi and said, Empire State Building, please. The driver smiled and said, good choice. When I got there, I looked up and couldn't even see the top. It was so high. I bought my ticket, passed security, and waited in line. The elevator was fast and smooth. My ears popped on the way up. And then, the doors opened. And there it was. All of New York City, right in front of me. I went to the edge and looked down. Cars looked like toys. People looked like ants. I could see Central Park, the Hudson River, and even the Statue of the Liberty far in the distance. I took pictures, but honestly, I just wanted to enjoy the view. It made me feel small and big at the same time. I heard people around me speaking Spanish, French, Japanese, and of course, English. Everyone was excited. We were all part of the same experience. A man next to me said, beautiful, right? I smiled and said, yes, it's amazing. That little sentence made me feel like a real part of the city. Travel connects people in the most simple ways. That night, I wanted to do something special. So I bought a ticket for a Broadway show. I didn't know what to expect, but everyone told me it was a must-do in New York. The theater was full of lights, music, and magic. I watched a musical, and even if I didn't understand every word, I felt every emotion. The actors were incredible. The songs gave me chills. At the end, I stood up and clapped as loud as I could. I was so thankful for that night. My travel was turning into something unforgettable, and the next day would bring even more lights and a lot more food. The next morning, I went to Times Square. I had seen it in so many photos, but nothing compares to being there in person. The lights, the sounds, the people. It felt like daytime even at night. Giant screens showed ads, music videos, and news. There were tourists everywhere taking pictures and laughing. I looked up and smiled. I was in the heart of New York. My travel adventure was loud, colorful, and full of energy. I took out my phone and said, "Wow, this is crazy." Then I walked around slowly, just trying to take it all in. It felt like the city was talking to me in its own fast, funny way. I visited some stores there, big ones like the M&M store and the Disney store. Everything was bright and fun. I even tried some American snacks I had never seen before. One of my favorites was a soft pretzel with cheese. So good. I also got a slice of New York pizza, and it was huge. One slice was bigger than my face. I said to the guy, "Just one slice, please." And he laughed and said, "Trust me, that's enough." He was right. During travel, food becomes part of the adventure. Every bite was something new to learn and enjoy. And honestly, American food is not always healthy, but it sure is fun. While I was eating, I heard people talking around me. Some spoke fast, others slow. I listened to short phrases like, "Let's go there," or "I love this place." I tried to repeat them in my mind, using the shadowing technique I learned online. I even practiced quietly. "This pizza is good. I love New York. Times Square is amazing." Speaking English while you travel makes everything more real. It's not just grammar, it's life. And the more I practiced, the more confident I felt. But I wasn't done yet. I still had a lot to learn. And before I went home, I wanted to remember everything I had experienced. After all those days exploring New York, I sat in my hotel room and opened my notebook. I wanted to write down everything I remembered from my travel. Not just places, but words too. Words like airport, ticket, elevator, view, and delicious. I wrote simple sentences. I took a cab. I reached the hotel. My phone buzzed. These little phrases helped me remember the moments. I even made a list of the new food I tried. Pretzel, hot dog, cheesecake. Learning English this didn't feel like studying, it felt like living. Every step of my trip was a chance to learn something new, and every mistake I made taught me something useful. When you travel, the best way to practice English is to speak without fear. Yes, even if your grammar isn't perfect, people understand when you try. I used easy words, asked for help, and always said thank you. That made a big difference. I repeated new words quietly to myself while walking. I said, "Good morning," to strangers. I read signs out loud and practiced what I would say before going to a store. If I forgot a word, I used my hands or showed pictures on my phone. Learning English this way is not just about books, it's about being brave and real. So now, I want to invite you to do the same. Use my story to practice. Repeat the phrases I used. Try shadowing, just listen, pause, and speak with me. Say it out loud. I reach the hotel. My phone buzzes. Where is the train? Do this every day. Speak slowly and clearly. Don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are part of the journey. I started this travel feeling nervous, but I'm ending it with a smile. English is becoming my friend. And you? Are you ready to make English your friend too? So now I have a question for you. If you had to go to the airport tomorrow, would you feel ready to speak English? Don't just think about grammar. Think about how you want to feel. Confident? Calm? Excited? That's possible, but only if you start practicing today. Use these words. Repeat these phrases. Make English part of your real life. Speak it out loud, even if no one is around. The best way to learn English is by living it, step by step. What sentence did you like most from today's lesson? What part of Carol's travel story felt like something that could happen to you? I want to know. Tell me in the comments. This is not just a video, it's a conversation. And every time you comment, you're not just helping this channel. You're helping yourself. You're training your brain to think, feel, and express in English. So, are you ready to change the way you learn English forever? Then hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and keep walking with me. This journey is just getting started, and next time, it could be your story we tell.